webinar. On behalf of entire Atticus Advisory, I welcome you all. So Atticus Advisory is a management consulting firm. I hope you all are fine over here. And our speaker will be Mr. Partho Shatikosh. He is an electrical engineer from Techno India, Kolkata, and MBA Finance from NMIMS Mumbai. He has 7 to 8 years of experience in finance, sales, consulting, management consulting in the sector like FMCG, retail market, pharma, BFSI. And in Atticus Advisory, he has been a part of the sales management consulting and serving with us. Today's webinar, thank you, sir, for joining us and giving your precious time. I will hand over to you now.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you very much for those kind words. I'll take it up from here. No worries. Good evening, everyone. Before we get to it, just want to do an audio check. Anybody here has any problems with the audio? Am I audible completely clearly to all of you? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, Shiliat.
Okay, great. So बीच में what will happen is आप लोगों को network connectivity issues हो सकते हैं, मुझे हो सकता है. So what we'll do is in Zoom there are 2-3 options. The first and simplest option is you can raise your hand. The moment you raise your hand, I will immediately hover and I will pause for you. So for example, if Nancy or Ira or anybody of them raise their hands, and I will pause and I will ask them to, I will stop my session right there and I'll ask you something. If you have missed on something, if you missed on the audio for some reason, all you have to do is go to the chat section. So you click on more on top and you go to the chat section and you can type. Whatever you type, I will be able to read it. Third, if you cannot connect at all and you've got some question, then you can connect right here on your WhatsApp. So if you have a question related to what I'm going to be teaching and something, so right in the middle of the class, you don't need to also stop everyone. You can simply just text it and I will respond immediately. All right. I'll start with the objective of this session. The objectives are 3. First is conducting a session on marketing, which would be sort of a taste of what we would do if you were to subscribe to the full version of fundamentals course of marketing, but we are picking up one section at each time. The second section is on finance, which will be again on the fundamentals of finance, and it should be relevant for you. This program is specifically designed for people who are either MBA aspirants right now, which is people in your 3rd year or final year, or people who've graduated and are going to be giving your CAT exam this year, or people who are in their 1st year of MBA, which means that you have already started your MBA and right now you're in the internship phase. So the knowledge that you'll be getting here is going to be very, very useful and relevant for that. Okay. Going ahead, what you're going to find is the process will also be explained to me. That is the 3rd section of this, which will be around during this course is going on. So probably intermittently, I will be telling you what are the advantages of going for this course, while I will be explaining to the sessions. I'll be jumping straight through with the first one. We're starting with marketing first, because marketing really gets everyone up. If we talk about finance first, then most people sort of doze off a little. So people who are only and only interested in finance, I request you to just hold on and things are going to be great in just 20 minutes. Start with STPD, which is segmentation, targeting, positioning, and differentiation. We'll cover the first 3, which is STP today. So before I get going ahead, one small thing before that. If you see this, anytime I'm flashing this in front of your screen, anytime I'm flashing this in front of your screen, you would be able to answer a question correctly, you're going to get an Amazon 500 voucher. So at any point of time, if I ask you a question, for example, who's the current Prime Minister of India, all you have to do is reply on chat or on WhatsApp here. The first person to reply, the first person and the first person only to reply would be getting an Amazon voucher worth 500. That's what we have been doing for all the webinars. And they're not going to be as simple as who's the Prime Minister of India. So the first question that I have for you is, what is the full form of STP? What is the full form of STP? Are you guys aware of it? Anybody wants to give it a shot? First question. And no marks for this. No Amazon vouchers for STP. All right, fair enough. Segmentation. targeting, positioning. The full form of STP is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So some of the ones who are some of the more intuitive ones amongst you who have already started preparing for your MBA, or those who have got a commerce background, are aware that the fundamentals of finance is accounting, which means credit and debit is the fundamentals of finance. Similarly, the fundamentals of marketing is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Now, in a very short session, which is about 20-25 minutes today, I don't think I might be able to make you all experts in marketing, but my objective is if I can give you one single truth and I give you a couple of examples, and that is what you retain, I think that is good enough for as my objective for this session. First, in marketing, whenever you're going to come across a lot of terms, in marketing, whenever you're going to come across a lot of these kind of terms, which you think you've heard in other places, please remember that there is a technical, specific meaning to each of these words. What segmentation means or what targeting means may or may not be the same as how you use it outward. All right. What segmentation means or what targeting means may not be what you use in your outside world. Great. So I want to take through with an example. Why don't I ask for a volunteer? Can I ask IK? It's Ira Kaushik. Ira, do you mind volunteering with any one industry or product, please? Can you give us an example of any one industry or product? Ira, can you hear us? You're on mute. Nancy, how about you? Can you just volunteer for one industry or product? Okay, I've got a chat. Yep. Can you guys hear me now? Is the audio a little better? Nancy?
Yes, yes, sir. Now we are fine.
All right. Great. So, Ira, can you give us an example of any one industry or segment? Nancy, can you give me an example of any one industry or product that you're comfortable or familiar with?
So mostly banking comes in the segmentation.
No, so just think of any product in that you go through. It can be absolutely any product. Any
So
product in the world.
I believe skincares are the or
Okay,
beauty.
so let's take an example of skincare. Right. All right. So what we're going to do for now is we're going to run our next set of examples, all related to skincare and all related to skincare. If after that, if people still have questions, we will take up some more examples. Okay. First is skincare. I'll try and explain what is segmentation through skincare. First thing you have to understand about segmentation is it is not related to your product. Although someone might ask you, इसका segmentation क्या है? या इसका segment बनाओ या इसका segments क्या हो सकते हैं? That's incorrect. Segmentation is the entire demographic. Segmentation is the entire. Is my voice breaking? Just try and remove this. Yeah, segmentation is the entire gamut of people that may or may not be using or part of your industry. Segmentation is the entire gamut of people who may or may not be using your product or be a part of your industry. So that is to everyone. Very good. You're very right. So let's say 0 to 5 years age, 6 to 18, 19 to 25. This is all age. So 18 age, 26 to 35, 35 to 50 age, 50 above. Next, what other kinds of segments can be there? So if you have a list of human beings, if you have a list of people, what other segments can there be? It could be based on their economic condition. So people, or so, oh, I forgot the most obvious one, which is men, women. My bad. Absolutely discriminatory of me. I don't want to add the other genders right now. Let's just keep the conversation on these. That's men and women. What are the categories? Low income, medium income, high income. What are the categories? Anybody else wants to volunteer? What other categories can there possibly be? What other categories can you possibly have?
So geographical region.
Region, right? So for region, you would have. So before geographical region, let me just split it into one step before that, which is urban and rural, or tier 3 cities. So let's call this as tier 1, 2 cities and tier 3 cities and then rural. Next would again be geography, which is Maharashtra, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, all of that. What else? Anything else? Educational background? Working professionals? How about this? Let's differentiate them into a little more specifics. Working professionals, retired, housewives, / students. So people who would spend a. So the difference here is the amount of time that they spend at home versus outside. Freelancers, so on and so forth. Target. Okay, let's go ahead with these examples. Whenever someone asks you, there is someone trying to connect to audio. I think somebody is finally going to be joining us. I think a lady has been trying for a while to join with us. Even if you don't get to hear everything that is going on, don't worry. We are recording this, as you can see. At any point of time, if people can't hear what is going on, you would send the link to this webinar, right? Targeting. In segmentation, if you're talking about skincare, what you have in front of you is the list of all the different types of sectors that would possibly be part of your industry or possibly be part of your product. You do not know at this point of time whether or not they would be purchasing your product. You do not know at this point of time whether or not they would be part of your product. They would be purchasing your product. Next step, targeting. Does anyone want to give this a shot? Someone except for Nancy, because I think she already knows the answer. You know what? Why don't I do this? So this is actually a Amazon 500 question. What is targeting? Does anyone want to give this a shot? What is targeting? Real? Navya? I think Navya tried the previous time. Okay. Because nobody has tried, I'll have to go ahead. This Amazon question. Targeting means selecting group of audience. Targeting means selecting the group of audience. Let's be a little more precise on that, Priyal. When we say targeting, we mean that amongst the given segments that you have, who would potentially be buying your product? One. Who would potentially buy your product? Second, who do you want to buy your product amongst the given segments? So you're right. Targeting means selecting that group of audience. Very well. Nancy, please keep a note. Priyal won the first Amazon 500. Good job, Priyal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is a list of all the segments possible, right? But when you have got skincare as an industry, so you have launched a new product, you have launched a new company. When you want to start with your segmentation, this is how your segmentation looks like. Now let's talk about your product. If I were to talk about a particular product, let's say moisture, I don't know how to pronounce that. Let's say a anti-aging cream. Anti-aging cream, which is premium, which is 400 rupees a single pack. Good. That is your product. Let's call the product name as whatever, Kaya, something. Okay? Your product name is Kaya. It is an anti-aging cream. It costs 400 rupees. If that is your product, this is your industry, and this is the price range, it may or may not make sense to target everyone. Isn't that right? Even though someone might come and say that, यार skin तो सबके पास है, anti-aging तो सबको चाहिए. Everybody might need your product, everybody might need your product, or everybody might be a part of your industry, which is skincare. They may or may not be a part of your target market. So whenever someone says the word target market or targeting, it means given in your segment, who do you want to target? All right. So let's say the purple ones. That's not this. Let's say the blue ones are the ones that you want to. Yep. Let's. जो ब्लू वंस है वो आप उनको टारगेट कर रहे हो. तो आप कह रहे हो सिर्फ tier 1 tier 2 मीडियम इनकम एंड हाई इनकम. You're saying the working professionals, the housewives. You're saying the women. Now age group, you're saying you're targeting age 26 to 35, 35 to 50, and 50 above, which is interesting because what you're trying to say is that from the age of 26 you're trying to push for anti-aging cream. Okay, so the blue ones become targeting. Next question, and this is a Amazon 1,000 rupee question. Whoever gets this right gets 1,000 rupees. All right, whoever gets this right gets 1,000 rupees. So listen to me carefully. What is positioning? What is positioning? And I would appreciate it if nobody Googled this. The $1,000 the voucher is seriously not worth the effort of not knowing. And I would appreciate it if nobody Googled this. What is positioning? What is positioning? Somebody has given a chat. Is it Ritesh? Targeting means selecting the level. Priyal, can you be a little more clear? Priyal, do you want to go on speaker and say? You can unmute yourself and tell us. Hey Priyal, do you want to explain?
Hello, sir. Yeah, basically, what I think position means something, some level or like where you stand, like the position of. We say, and I cannot elaborate it exactly.
No worries. Selecting the level. I see. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't give you that. It's a little different from what you thought here.
Yeah, it's okay.
Positioning is the position your product holds in the brain of your target. Positioning is the position your product holds in the brain, mind of the target. Let's explain this a little further. Let's forget Kaya because Kaya is hypothetical. You've got three products. You've got McDonald's, you've got Burger King, and you've got Domino's. Correct? Now, technically, all of them are fast food. All of them give you food at a certain price. All of them are moderately priced. Domino's has a very expensive range and has an okay range. Burger King similar. Okay, forget Domino's. Let's put Domino's. Let's put McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC. McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC. All of them would have very similar segmentation. They would probably have identical targeting, right? They would be targeting the same kinds of people. Which is why wherever you see a McDonald's, you would see a KFC, and then you would see a Burger King. McDonald's, KFC, Burger King. They're all nearby. The position they each hold in your brain is different. Let me explain further. When you wake up first thing in the morning, and suppose I've asked you, you know what, Priyal, you know what, Nancy, I want you to go for a 200-kilometer journey right now. It's 7 a.m. You've got a car, go, you've got to get some work done. I have forced you to go out of your home, out of the comfort of your breakfast. You've not had your coffee, your breakfast, or anything. It's 7 a.m. in the morning, and you're on the highway. When you're on the highway, at 7 a.m. or 7:30 in the morning, you probably are not thinking about KFC and you're probably not thinking about Burger King, but you're thinking about coffee. You're thinking about tea. You're thinking about something light, something fluffy. If people here are from Maharashtra, I haven't done the check here. People in this group are from Maharashtra, then you're definitely thinking of bread or pav. If you're from Mumbai, then you're definitely, certainly, 100% thinking about vada pav. There is no question on that. If you're from Pune, you're thinking about pohe, right? If you're from the southern part of India or even from Mumbai, you might be thinking about dosa. So when you're on the road, you are not thinking at all about fried chicken. You're not thinking at all about fancy burgers. You're thinking about tea and breakfast food. And therefore, automatically McDonald's may come in your brain. So even though the three brands may have identical segmentation and targeting, you have Burger King, you have McDonald's, and you have a KFC. You are going to be think breakfast, think light food, think cheap, think simple, think quick food, think McDonald's. So whenever I flash the word simple in your brain, you would associate with McDonald's. And McDonald's has spent a lot of money to do that. McDonald's, simple food. When McDonald's started, it had a different tagline, and it had a different tagline, and it had a different tagline. Right now, McDonald's is हर घर में एक, हर घर के पास एक. That's the policy that they're going for, which is जितने वड़ा पाव वाले आपको शायद दिखते होंगे, जितने फास्ट फूड वाले आपके दिखते होंगे, the unstructured or the informal market of food, you're going to find McDonald's in almost all of those places, so that you don't have to reach very far. KFC, little different. KFC's got fancy words. KFC's got words like crushers and zingers and those rice thingies. What do you call them? Rice bowls. Interesting, because in India, what had happened was KFC came after McDonald's. McDonald's was very big, and then came KFC. McDonald's has the most number of, has the single most number of, sorry, apologies. McDonald's has the single most number of product differentiations in India as compared to any other country in the world. Which means that the number of variations McDonald's has in India, dosa puff, pizza McPuff, breakfast, bhuji McPuff, bhuji pav, bhuji puff, egg puff, and so on and whatever and whatever and whatever. It doesn't have in any other country in the world. Because of which, McDonald's has been Indianized. The words that you hear are Indian. The phrases that you hear, the prices that you see are Indian. McDonald's was one of the first companies to come with an all-veg menu. So when you go to food, then you have the veg and non-veg thing, right? KFC, the words used, crushers, zingers, rice bowls, different, a little alien. You haven't heard those words. You haven't ever used the word crusher or zinger or so on. And hence, even though they mean a lot in the external market, they're not something which most Indians can relate with quickly. And hence, even though KFC wanted to do the same targeting as McDonald's, which is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, rural, everything, it wasn't that successful. I personally think KFC is very tasty. However, the positioning it has in my mind is it's fried chicken. KFC has 40 different other kinds of things, including veg chips, including fried potatoes, and so on and so forth. But the position that KFC has in your brain is, it is fried chicken. Position for KFC, fried chicken. All right. Anybody has any questions right now? Or do you want me to pause, stop right now for anything? Let's open the chat window before I get ahead. Okay, no questions. I will be going ahead to the next bit. Complete the example. We were right now and sorry. STPD. Yeah. We'll start with the perceptual map. Just a minute. So अगर हमें पोजिशनिंग करनी है काया की, वी आर मेकिंग अ न्यू प्रोडक्ट, हम लोग एक नया प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं, या फिर हम लोग एक नए प्रोडक्ट में आपको हायर किया गया, यू आर द मार्केटिंग मैनेजर, all of you. Nancy is the marketing manager for Kaya, and she's like, I have got this product and I've got a great idea. How do I segment it, target it? So positioning is like curd rice. It's very simple. I will just make it. So then they tell you, "Acha, theek hai, positioning bhi kar." What will be the positioning for Kaya? Let us say that because Nancy is doing it for the first time, so she's saying, I want people to think premium, think Kaya, think expensive, think Kaya, think good quality, think Kaya, think Ayurved or natural, think Kaya. So, what would be the positioning for Kaya? Natural, premium, expensive, good quality. Whenever you think of Kaya, your advertising, your marketing, your all of that is going to be think natural, think Kaya, think premium, think Kaya, and so on. All right. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is make a perceptual map. Before we start with the perceptual map for Kaya, how about we make the perceptual map for some of these other companies? Can you all see my screen? Is the font size all right? Do you want me to increase it? Okay, it's all right. A perceptual map, again, like I mentioned previously, that there are a lot of terms that are going to be thrown around in marketing, which might sound similar or familiar from your normal day-to-day work, but they have a fundamental, strong technical reason why they are called whatever. What I mean by that, perceptual map may, this has got nothing to do with what is actually limited choice or what is actually wide choice or what is actually high quality or low quality. This is what is the perception of the people about this brand. This example that you have in front of you is, if I were to make a graph, कि यहाँ पे आ जाता है आपका वाइड चॉइस, यहाँ पे आता है आपका लिमिटेड चॉइस, यहाँ पे आता है आपका हाई क्वालिटी मटेरियल या हाई क्वालिटी कंटेंट, सॉरी कंटेंट नॉट मटेरियल, यहाँ पे आता है आपका मिक्स्ड क्वालिटी या लो क्वालिटी कंटेंट या मटेरियल. How would you place these products? You've got YouTube, Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix. In the mind of people, it has been found. So what you do is you run a survey. You run a survey about these products, and then you ask each of those people who participate in this surveys these questions. What is your perception about Netflix? How do you think about Netflix? So there are multiple choices. You would all be participating in a lot of surveys, I'm sure. Yeah. This is coffee. This is for the throat. Thank you. You're participating in a lot of surveys where you would be having questions coming up to you. Now, when you have that, all of that data is aggregated and accumulated by companies like Atticus Advisors. And what you would have is then a final map or a perceptual map, as you can see, कि लोगों का opinion इन products के बारे में क्या है. So, लोगों के हिसाब से Netflix का quality सबसे high है. लोगों के perception के हिसाब से YouTube का quality सबसे poor है. उनको लगता है YouTube से काफी better quality आता है Netflix. उनको लगता है सबसे कम चॉइस ऑफ प्रोडक्ट, मतलब कि एक दो कंटेंट नहीं, बहुत वैरायटी ऑफ कंटेंट सिर्फ YouTube में. तो अगर आपको हर लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि हर टाइप के प्रोडक्ट्स YouTube पे मिल जाएंगे, लेकिन थोड़े कम कंटेंट आपको Hulu या ऐसे लोकल रीजनल उसमें मिलेंगे. समझ आया? दिस इज कॉल्ड अ परसेप्चुअल मैप. एक परसेप्चुअल मैप इज नेवर अबाउट अ कंपनी. A perceptual map is about a market or an entire industry. Perceptual map is never about a company but an entire industry. यहाँ पे this is about the home entertainment market. Home entertainment में products को अगर customer से पूछा जाए कि यार customer क्या सोचता है हमारे बारे में, home entertainment में customer को पूछा जाए कि वो हमारे बारे में क्या सोचता है, then they are mapped here. All right. Let's take one more example before we go to the next. Another example of food, right? So these are foreign brands. For those who are not familiar, Wendy's and In-N-Out are very similar. Wendy's के भी burgers आते हैं, लेकिन उनके ribs ज़्यादा famous है, which is a big chunk of meat. So they are not as famous for burgers as they are for ribs. Next is In-N-Out, which is just literally get your small food. So उसमें Subway sandwiches छोटे-छोटे tech आते हैं, very similar to McDonald's and burgers. ठीक है? What is the perceptual map template for them? People have told, ये लोगों को लगता है, ये फैक्ट है कि नहीं, दैट्स अ सेपरेट थिंग. ये लोगों को लगता है कि मैकडॉनल्ड्स में जाके मुझे सबसे ज्यादा चॉइसेस मिलेंगे खाने के, और इन एंड आउट में सबसे कम चॉइस. लोगों को ये लगता है कि बर्गर किंग अपेरेंटली सबसे अनहेल्दी है, और वेंडीज जो कंपनी था वो सबसे ज्यादा हेल्दी है वेंडीज, और सबसे कम हेल्दी है बर्गर किंग. अपॉलजीज. तो जंक फूड में सबसे ज्यादा अपेरेंटली लोगों को लगता है बर्गर किंग है, और सबसे ज्यादा हेल्दी उनको लगता है वेंडीज है. Let's take two quick examples before we go to the finance section. Do a duplicate. Do we want to do it for the same industry? Let's try to do it for the same industry. Okay, which is Kaya. So Nancy, and I need one more volunteer, and one more of you volunteer. Who wants to volunteer? Hello, anybody volunteering?
So I'm. Anyone else who wants to volunteer and be part of it?
Yeah, I like to volunteer.
Okay, Priyal, welcome on board.
Awesome, great. So I'll just make a perceptual map. Do you want to do it for skincare itself? Let's start doing it for skincare. Yeah. I need your help because I have got very limited idea about skincare and all its products in terms of the names. But I think we can manage. Okay. So same thing we are doing. We're making a perceptual map. This is price. So this is high price, low price. And alternative side में आ जाता है. Quality. This is high quality, low quality. Cool.
Yes.
Now I want you guys to just come up with names of products. Okay. So product number 1, skincare में लेते हैं. Let's take skincare का example.
Priyal, you go ahead.
Yeah, Kylie skincare could be in a high price.
Okay. Higher. Okay. And probably high quality.
It's Kylie skincare, not Kaya.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's KYLIE.
LI. Oh, like Kylie Minogue. Good. Quality में कहाँ होगा?
Quality में high quality.
Okay. So ये सबसे कोने में आ जाता है. ठीक है.
Yeah.
Okay. Next product. Any more examples? Let's have 6 more, 5-6 more quickly.
Patanjali skincare could be in low price and medium quality kind of.
Okay. Very good example. Over here. Next.
Then Himalaya could be in center, like medium price and a little higher quality. Not exactly high quality, but like medium quality.
पतंजलि से ज़्यादा होगा हिमालय.
Yeah.
Okay. और प्राइस भी उससे ज़्यादा होगा?
No, price is medium.
Price is medium.
Yeah.
Price is medium. Quality इधर यहाँ पे रहेगा, right?
हाँ.
Good. पतंजलि is क्या? Low price and medium quality.
Yeah, medium से थोड़ा सा नीचे, मतलब moderate quality ऐसा.
Low quality की तरफ. Price low हो गया. और इसका price तो थोड़ा high है. So it will be here.
हाँ.
क्वालिटी भी हाई है, तो इधर आ गया। ठीक, नेक्स्ट
Yeah.
लेट्स हैव टू मोर।
Boutique skincare could be like equal quality also good and price is also okay, like in center somewhere.
ठीक है, एंड वन मोर।
And
Can we go with Nivea or L'Oreal?
yeah, Nivea is good.
ठीक है, निविया को कहाँ डालना? Where is निविया?
Medium quality, medium price.
ये सारे आंसर मीडियम नहीं देने का।
Okay, so it is near to high, I mean high quality but medium price.
यहाँ पे so Nivea, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the mapping that customers have. Again, this has got nothing to do with actual quality. Please understand the difference. ठीक है? कोई नहीं बोल रहा है कि पतंजलि का actually quality low है या high है. This is the perception that people have. ठीक है? This is why it is called a perceptual map. Cool. So you have got the chairman of Nivea sitting, Himalaya sitting, BSC, Patanjali and China. अभी ये लोग अलग अलग segments में है, right? Someone is in this quadrant, someone is in this quadrant, this quadrant, and this quadrant. Their marketing strategy for the next 6 months or whatever next year is going to be defined by this. मान लीजिए काइली सोच रहा है कि यार मेरे सेल्स बहुत कम हो रहे हैं, मैं अच्छा प्रोडक्ट हूँ, मेरे में कोई गलती नहीं है, मेरा क्वालिटी काफी अच्छा है, तो फिर लोग खरीद क्यों नहीं रहे? क्या कोई बता सकते हैं क्या रीजन है?
Because the price is quite high, only the rich people or high quality people would buy them, like normal people, middle class won't buy.
Right. That is again the perception which people have. It may or may not be true, but लोगों को ऐसा लग रहा है कि शायद the price is high. So what is the first thing that Kylie will do? Kylie will first look at the products. क्या मेरे products actually expensive है? इसका क्या मतलब? वो एक मैथ से समझाना पड़ेगा. CCD, Starbucks, ठीक है? CCD में एक small है, medium है और large है, ठीक है? CCD का small cost 89 रुपीज, Starbucks का small cost 150 रुपीज, ठीक है? लेकिन CCD का small का जो ml है, it gives 70 ml, जबकि Starbucks gives 190 से 200 ml coffee. So this is milliliter of coffee, ठीक है? तो per ml कॉफी कौन ज्यादा दे रहा है? This is the coffee per ml. The coffee price per ml. समझ आ रहा है? So Starbucks is actually giving you at 75 paisa per ml and CCD is giving you at 1.27 rupees per ml, है ना? लेकिन क्या हो रहा है, लोगों के दिमाग में आ गया कि यार Starbucks का स्मॉल तो 150 रुपए है और CCD का स्मॉल 89 रुपीज है, लेकिन कप छोटा है, सॉरी क्वांटिटी कम है, ये लोग नहीं सोचते हैं. You see the difference? Which is why it is important to go to the next level of analysis to see whether my price is actually less or not. So what will Kylie do? Kylie will do that. वो देखेगा मेरा per ml cost of anti-aging versus पतंजलि, हिमालय, निविया का क्या डिफरेंस. आप समझ रहे हो? इस वक्त the marketing managers take into account per ml, per unit, per SKU, per smallest unit का सेल का प्राइस. इसी को दिमाग में रखते हुए you would find some of the largest brands in the world like Head and Shoulders, like Surf Excel, like Tide. Surf Excel, Tide, these are massive brands, okay? ये brands इंडिया के बाहर इतने सक्सेसफुल थे, तो इंडिया में आके बेच नहीं पा रहे थे. Head and Shoulders का सेल इंडिया में हो ही नहीं रहा था. Head and Shoulders could not figure out कि यार इंडिया इतना बड़ा मार्केट है, इतने सारे लोगों के पास इतना सारा बाल है, वो लोग बाल धोते नहीं है क्या? अब समझ आया कि Head and Shoulders आ गया. यहाँ पे आता है आपका लोकल शैम्पू which is चिक शैम्पू. Head and Shoulders का जो स्मॉलेस्ट डब्बा था, it was costing कुछ 50 रुपीज पर स्मॉल का बॉटल, और चिक का था 2 रुपीज. 2 रुपीज कैसे था? क्योंकि वो एक सैशे था. तो चिक ने सैशे पैक निकाला था शैम्पूज का, जो हेड एंड शोल्डर्स का था नहीं, पर हेड एंड शोल्डर्स कितना दे रहा था? 50 ml दे रहा था, 100 ml दे रहा था। तो हेड एंड शोल्डर्स का लॉजिक है यार, मैं तो ये ml ऑफ शैम्पू, सेम लॉजिक आ गया। हेड एंड शोल्डर्स बोल रहे यार मैं तो तुम लोग को और सस्ते में दे रहा हूँ, मैं आपको 50 रुपए में, दिस इज द प्राइस ऑफ स्मॉल शैम्पू, मैं आपको 50 रुपए में 100 ml शैम्पू दे रहा हूँ और वो 2 रुपए में 3 ml शैम्पू दे रहा है, तो मैं तो ज्यादा सस्ते में दे रहा हूँ ना। लेकिन लोगों ने वो नहीं देखा, लोगों ने देखा कि इसका सबसे कम 2 रुपए है, इसका सबसे कम 50 रुपए है, मैं 50 रुपए नहीं। हेड एंड शोल्डर्स को मार्केट में रहने के लिए क्या करना पड़ा? सैशे निकालना पड़ा। 50 रुपए का भी डब्बा रखेगा, वो सैशे भी रखेगा, पैंटीन भी रखेगा, गार्नियर भी रखेगा, सबको सैशे रखना पड़ा। क्यों? क्योंकि जो इंडियन मार्केट है में पीपल आर extremely price driven, which is why everyone who's falling in this low price zone is going to have a lot of sales as compared to those above this. They will have more money to spend, they will have more marketing. All right, before I go to the finance section, any further questions on this, guys? I'll wait for a minute. Keep the chat open. Anybody has any questions? Anyone has any questions? All right, into the next section. We're going to talk about the financial system in India. If anybody is going to groan, I'm going to be a little disappointed because I've done a lot of effort to make this look interesting. My way of making this look interesting is by putting in different colors, as many different colors as I can on the boxes. But no, jokes apart, let's try and understand what does the financial system in a country means, and then so on and so forth. People who are interested in doing an MBA need to understand that just having a very detailed knowledge about your particular field is of no use until and unless you have a broad understanding of all the sectors of all the segments of business, which is marketing, finance, operations, and HR. It would be very difficult for you to take a marketing decision or a finance decision or any kind of decision. It is important to have your fundamentals clear about every segment of business so that you can make a unified or a complete decision. You would have seen this when we did the perceptual map. Each side, if you just talk about marketing, but you have no clue about the finance part of it, the numbers part of it, the reach, the operations, ki wo reach kaise karenge, logon ke paas jayenge kaise, you cannot take a decision on your own. So then you would have to rely on other experts. All right, coming to this, every MBA grad, whoever is going to be ever going to be part of an Indian system or even a multinational company which is a multinational, and have an understanding of the financial system of that country. In India, it starts with the Ministry of Finance. So the apex body in India, the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance has made these dark colored blocks, which you can see, are the major regulatory bodies or controllers, of how finance works in India. In any country, finance is a combination of financial instruments, financial markets, and transactions. So you would have financial instruments in terms of cash, credit, commodities, and equity. Cash being cash, credit being the loans that are taken from one company or one entity to another. Commodities like oil, gold, and all other kinds of commodities. And equity, which is the value of the company. So when the financial system of a company of a country has to be defined in the structure, the Ministry of Finance decides who is going to be controlling or regulating these transactions. Otherwise, it is going to be very difficult for a one single entity to look at all of the individual transactions. I'll just keep my chat window open. Anyone has any questions? Let's start with the first one. Okay, let's just go once around the table. This is RBI, this is SEBI, this is PFRD and MCF. RBI, full form, Reserve Bank of India. I'm not going to even put this as an Amazon question. Job of the RBI or the Reserve Bank of India is to have control of all banking and non-banking related transactions which have a nature in deposit. Banking and non-banking related transactions have a depository nature. Whenever you are making a transaction which eventually translates into a deposit, it will be governed by the RBI. The biggest chunk of portfolio under the RBI is the bank. Then we'll go to the next one. There are two kinds of banks, commercial banks and cooperative banks. A commercial bank is one which has been set up for the objective of making profits. Commercial bank has been set up with the objective of making profits. The cooperative bank, on the other hand, has been set up with the objective of benefiting a particular community. तो एक कमर्शियल बैंक जब सेटअप होता है तो आपका पैसा लूट करता है, वो चाहता है कि वो अपना प्रॉफिट बढ़ाए, वो टैक्स बढ़ाएगा, इंटरेस्ट चार्जेस बढ़ाएगा, रेट्स बढ़ाएगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो करेगा so that the commercial bank is making profit. A cooperative bank is ideally, in the ideal world, set up for a particular benefit to a community, to a type of people, to a segment, to a class. So for example, if you've got agricultural bank, these banks give loans to only agri sector at a lower rate. So they have been set up not for general public, but for only people for agri purposes, like loans for agri, disbursals, deposits from agri, and so on. All right. Commercial banks again have four types, which is public. This differentiation is based on ownership. So if the public or the government is owning a bank, it is called a public bank. For example, State Bank of India is a government-owned bank. So अगर 50% से ज़्यादा ownership एक single entity का है और वो entity अगर government है तो वो public होता है. अगर 50% से ज़्यादा ownership एक private entity का है तो वो private bank होता है. अगर एक foreign entity का है तो एक foreign bank होता है. So RRB is a regional rural bank. You've got those smaller chunk banks, many in Maharashtra also, which fall under commercial banks. Financial institutions, IDFC, NABARD, NHB, STPD. NABARD, NHB, STPD, we are not going to get into the details of all of them. That's for a longer conversation, and we may not have time today. But they are all under the governance of RBI. Fourth is NBFCs. एक NBFC का simplest example is any entity which disburses loans or where you can borrow money from. Muthoot Finance, Manappuram Finance, gold loans मिलते हैं. You have seen those companies, Kotak loans. All companies जो कि banks नहीं है, जहाँ पे आप बैठ के deposit नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन आप loan ले सकते हो, उनको NBFCs कहते हैं. They are also under the purview of RBI. Okay. Next is SEBI. If you exclude all banking and NBFC related transactions, if you exclude all banking and NBFC related transactions, the marketplaces you're left with are called capital markets. So, क्या होता है? Biggest market in capital markets is equity. Equity का एक base market होता है, which is any company. If I want to sell my company to, I have a company, Atticus Advisors. If I want to sell my company to another owner, then I have to transfer my shares to that person or to that owner or to that company That comes under the capital markets का purview. If I want to go public, अगर मैंने अपनी कंपनी को पब्लिकली लिस्ट किया, मतलब कि लोग आके शेयर्स खरीद सकते हैं, दैट इज अंडर कैपिटल मार्केट्स. अगर हम 3-4 लोग एक साथ बैठ गए और हमने बोला यू नो व्हाट, हम लोग सब एक साथ मिलके पैसे लगाएंगे और स्टॉक्स खरीदेंगे, ठीक है, मेरे पास 10,000 है, उसके पास 10,000 है, उसके पास 10,000 है, 30,000 रुपए मिला के हम लोग स्टॉक्स खरीदेंगे, दैट बिकम्स अ म्यूचुअल फंड. मल्टीपल equity owners combined together is called a mutual fund. That comes under capital. Sensex is an index. Sensex is not a company. कोई बोले ना मैं सेंसेक्स में जा रहा हूँ, बोलो बेटा तुम घर आ जाओ, सेंसेक्स कोई जगह नहीं है, वो झूठ बोल. नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज is a company. It is an exchange body. मतलब कि क्या, वो एक दुकान है जहां पे लोग खरीद रहे हैं और बेच रहे हैं. A simple example of national stock exchange क्या हो सकता है? People from Mumbai, or from actually any city you would know. आपके वहां पे एक सब्जी मंडी होता होगा, राइट? एक सब्जी मंडी में ऐसे टाइप के लोग आते होंगे. Let's take this, let's write this down so that people can understand. आप गए हो विरार के सब्जी मंडी में या दुनिया की किसी भी सब्जी मंडी में जाओ, एक टाइम पे लोग आएंगे फार्मर्स, ठीक है. सपोज ये सब्जी मंडी का लोकेशन हो गया है सम प्लेस इन वसई. वसई इज द नेम ऑफ अ प्लेस. फार्मर्स जो कि 30 किलोमीटर के अंदर रेडियस में है, दे आर गोइंग टू बी देयर, ठीक है. फिर आएंगे कुछ डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स जो कि 100 किलोमीटर दूर, जो फार्मर है, सॉरी, जो फार्मर 100 किलोमीटर दूर से आ रहा है, उसको आना मुश्किल है वसई तक, है ना. तो वो क्या करेगा, बीच में एक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को दे देगा. तो वो फार्मर एक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को देगा, वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर वसई तक लेके आएगा, ये सब्जी मंडी तक, इस मंडी, ठीक है. इस साइड में आते हैं, कौन खरीदेगा? जो 5 किलोमीटर के अंदर जो रिटेल लोग हैं. आपका घर अगर मंडी के बाजू में है तो आप सब्जी खरीदने 10 किलोमीटर दूर जाओगे नहीं. अब 5 किलोमीटर रेडियस के में जो आसपास लोग हैं, those people will buy the vegetables first. Next, sellers और suppliers जो कि 100-150 किलोमीटर दूर जाके सेल करेंगे. So you will have suppliers who will travel 150 kilometers, take your everything from the mandi and take it ahead. So you would have people, we would have the farmers and distributors selling, and then you would have suppliers who would buy it again in bulk and then take it ahead and sell it ahead. Then you would have wholesalers, people who will just buy it, you know, they will just make stocks out of it, वो खरीद के रख लेंगे, like the inventory. Then you would have retailers. Who are these? Anybody who has ever bought sabzi knows that you have to go to a sabzi wala and then he gives you at a particular price. These would be the retailers who would again be from a 50-kilometer radius. What I mean is, if your place is in Borivali or wherever, it's suppose 50 kilometers from the mandi, that sabzi wala will go to the mandi, buy it every morning and then sell it during the day. Okay? The sabzi wala may not be a farmer himself. It is unlikely that your sabzi wala himself is going to be growing the dhania and growing all the vegetables. No, his job is to sell. His name is retailer. The wholesaler would be someone bigger, someone like Big Bazaar or Reliance. What would your wholesaler do? The wholesaler will buy the entire stock in massive bulk for 2-3 weeks. Your retailer can't really do that. He can buy it for a smaller rate. So on one side, there is the supply of vegetables. On the other side, there is the demand of vegetables. Okay? And this is called a marketplace. Understood? This exact same thing is your Sensex. This exact same thing is your NSE. NSE यहाँ पे बैठता है. National Stock Exchange sits here. Bombay Stock Exchange sits here. There used to be a Kolkata and Ahmedabad Stock Exchange. If they were there, they would also sit there. On the supply side, what you would have is small companies, You would have distributors, which means you would have more companies who have bought shares. So you might have mutual funds. You might have some small debt funds. Okay. On the demand side, which is the people who will buy it, you would again have similar things. You would have the retail buyers. जैसे आपके retired चाचा and ताऊ जी तो retire हो चुके हैं और अभी क्या कर रहे हैं बेटा मैं stocks खरीद रहा हूँ. So these are your retail buyers. They will buy 10 stocks, 20 stocks. They will find a place here. They will directly come and buy shares from these companies. Then you would have mutual funds here also. Bigger mutual funds who want to invest or buy from smaller mutual funds. You would have wholesalers, which would be hedge funds. A hedge fund is someone who is going to buy a huge amount of stock at the same time. Last is your bigger companies. So a company like Tata Steel has also invested in a smaller company. So when Tata Steel wants to buy, he will also come to NSE or somewhere and buy it. So there's a demand side and there's a supply side. And your marketplace is called National Stock Exchange or Bombay Stock. Is that going to make any money? Does NSE make 1 rupee? Does the mandi make any money? No. The mandi is a marketplace. Right? It's just a block of land where people come, they buy and they sell and then they go home. Same as the stock exchange. People come, buy, they sell, and they go home. All of those transactions which I just mentioned will be happening here. One more level is here, which I'd forgotten to mention here, which is foreign exchange, foreign currency, which means forex, yeah, which means people who are buying currencies would also be regulated by the SEBI. The PFRDA is the Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority, which looks at only the pension side of the financial system. The MCA is the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. The MCA is the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and not Mumbai Cricket Association. It looks at all kinds of commodities and commodities brokerage firms. Sir, Sher Khan kidhar hai? Sher Khan is here. Sir, Sher Khan ka commodities wala wing kidhar hai? वो यहाँ पे. Okay. Now, and insurance is sitting here. Okay? Insurance has got two types, which is life insurance and general insurance. We are overshot by a few minutes, but I'll ask the last Amazon question for today. This is a 1,000 rupee question and anybody can answer. This is an Amazon 1,000 rupee question and anybody can answer. Who or what is wrong in this slide? Anything wrong in this slide? It's an Amazon 1,000 rupee question. Is there any mistake that I've made in this slide? Can anybody think of a mistake that I've made in this slide? All right. Priyal, Ira, Ritesh, anybody wants to try? No? Great. Let me just shell out the answer. This will not be SEBI. This is going to be IRDA. This will not be SEBI. This will be IRDA. Or Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. So this will not be SEBI. The insurance market is not controlled by SEBI. It is controlled by the IRDA. All right. I'm going to just spend one more minute talking about the program. So how this works is, as you can see, referring to the brochure that must have been shared with you. After we conduct the webinars, one of our counselors is going to connect with you and explain to you which certification makes more sense for you. Typically, people who have got no background in any of the 4 subjects, we recommend them to join the fundamental session, or someone like me or some of my colleagues would be walking you through. Similar to the topics that I've just taught you, which is very similar to this, what is sales management, techniques, and so on. People who have fixed on which topic to go for. Yes, I'm getting a chat. Can you guys hear me now? Nancy just mentioned my voice is here. Yeah, I think there might be a network issue. I'll go a little slower. Yeah. So after that, if people who are certain about which course they want to do, or they have got a strong background, or people who have just completed the fundamentals course, we suggest them to go for the advanced course, which is in finance, marketing, HR, or operations. So finance, marketing, HR, and operations. In this case, your certification will again be a certified finance professional on advanced concepts. All right. In both of these certification courses, after your course is completed, you will be provided with 2 live projects. And the main objective is that we have found in many of your cases that your profile is significantly lagging in one, certifications, and second is experience. आज अगर कोई बोल रहा है कि यार मुझे marketing करना है, great, very good. या मुझे finance में कुछ करना है, it's great. But then, do you have existing work in that, as compared to irrelevant or unrelated work experience? अगर आपका unrelated work experience है, तो how do you showcase in your interviews? आप MBA interviews में, आप summer internships के बाद, how do you showcase that you already know my marketing and or finance and you're certain about that subject? Which is why we provide you with live projects. A consultant like me, apart from teaching and growing my beard and hair, the other thing that we do is also work for our clients, which is in consulting. So we solve client problems very similar to the conversations which we have just had today at the time, which is deciding what is the target market, deciding what kind of products should be sold by the client, deciding where should the client be setting up his company, and so on. So if marketing is interested, we allow them to work with the client. We share live client data and we get a live project for 2 weeks. मतलब कि आपने actually काम किया है, आपने सिर्फ एक certificate claim नहीं किया है. That is the reason behind the price of this product, and making sure that you get that face time with the client, the consultants who would explain to you. That is all that I have. If any one of you, Ira, Ritesh, Priyal, if any one of you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I am done for now, Nancy. Over to you, Nancy.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time. Any one of you have any queries? You can put on the chat box. Either you can message me. You guys have my personal number on the WhatsApp group. And I will be rolling out a feedback form. So you can give your feedback, however you like this, and you can approach me directly for any queries. And thank you everyone for joining with us. Thank you so much, sir, for giving your time. And I think so we can close here. If anybody have question, they can ping up like within 1 minute.
Any questions from anyone? I don't think so. Any questions? Closing questions? None?
Oh.
None? Great. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
It was a great evening. Time well
Yes.
spent. Thank you. Bye-bye.